Hello and welcome to another episode of Time XM Revo. My name is Adam Ismail. We've got Andrew Elmore and Paul Lavelle with us today, but we also have a special returning guest who hasn't been on the show in a while, but it's good to have him back. It's always great when he's around. It is Jayson Lamp. How you doing, Jayson?
Hello.
Yo.
How y'all doing?
What's going on? What's going on out there in Jersey? I'm in Pennsylvania, so you know we're not far away.
Complete chaos like New Jersey usually is.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lawless
the best
state.
way to describe New Jersey is like we're a good couple years off from Mad Max land. Like,
Yeah. we're catching up over in all of the UK right now, I think. We're getting there. We're slowly getting to... I can ride a motorcycle, so I've been able to fully embrace Mad Max land. When it happens, will be,
exactly. You see a bright red car painted like the Fiera. Yeah, it's not me. It's not me driving FA racing at all. Like,
That ties in beautifully to the episode because this one actually, I feel like, not me, but kind of Paul and Andrew and Jayson, like you guys all separately had the idea for this episode at the same time, but Jayson was the first person to actually come to me and say, I want to do an episode about Arcade Archives, Hamster stuff, which was cool to me because some of these games I obviously care a lot about, but like 90% of them I don't know anything about. And so on this episode, I'm more just excited to learn and just see where we go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised we all almost hive-minded it. Like,
Kind of. He was on top of that Final Lap, Konami GT, every single time they're releasing something over in
for sure.
Hamsterland.
Paul was the
He's
first
right
person
there.
to hit me up about Final Lap.
It's because I'm
We were sharing tech.
old, so I guess I just remember those games again. Oh shit, that's come out. That's cool, man. We can play this on my Switch now or on my PlayStation. That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I guess Jayson was like pole position the first of these racing,
the
first
racing
racing game I think
games?
that they released on Arcade Archives. Andrew, do you know?
I'm not sure.
I think it probably was.
I think so, yeah. If we don't count Neo Geo, Riding Hero, that motorcycle game. Besides that,
Okay.
that was
like
probably
90,
like the first
91?
one.
I want to say that's a really early one, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was a launch game. It was definitely a launch game for sure. It used that like headphone jack technology
Right,
that League
yes.
Bowling did. Like,
Shout out to Neo Geo Go, a
Yeah.
different podcast.
Yeah, I feel really awful because minutes before we started recording, I informed Andre that we were doing this, and he was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't have these ideas until it's literally too late." But I promised him we would do like a more focused, just Neo Geo thing in the future.
Okay,
so.
that's cool.
it's like when you guys were talking Excite Bike, and I was just like, I could have talked about Exciting Bike. Like,
Yeah, I know. Well, it's also the problem when you have 4 people
That's
hosting
fair.
a show is that like a lot of the time like one of us
The
drops
hot
off
seat.
or something to make it happen because the only person who knows less about what we're going to talk about today than me is the guy who isn't here. So
Psych, mate, it's me, Brendan Rorison. I'm here with all my hottest takes.
I wish I could do the
Focus,
accent
you've got
justice, but I
pizza on
can't,
your
and I'm so
focus.
embarrassed to that I never.
See, that's where you gotta start. See, I'm already losing it completely. I'm a different person now.
Yeah. You can say I can only do Limmy lines because
Yeah,
I've
that's fair.
heard them.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as I can go, and then like beyond that, I can't do. I can only try to replicate what I've heard. But Brendan can let us know how he feels about this episode and our impressions.
I feel
of
bad.
him
I
after
feel
the
like
fact,
I've
but-
done much better Brens in the group chat here. I've done you a disservice, my friend. I'll make it up to you someday. I won't.
Yeah, this was a pretty weak one.
not
Gotta be honest. But it's all right. There's a lot more
That's right.
coming in the future, and now I don't know, pole position. No, Riding Hero. Hero we established.
well, I mean,
So I don't think I've never played that game. I don't think I've ever played it.
so it's, you know what Super Hang On Genesis plays?
Oh,
where
yeah.
you have to tap steer. It's essentially that, but an arcade Neo Geo like sprite scaler.
Okay.
And there's one mode where you're doing Grand Prix and you go through all the different race circuits. And then there's a story mode where you like upgrade your bike and race on mountain passes and race other bikers. And it's like an interesting game for a launch Neo Geo game, but when you have access to Hang On and Super Hang On, it just kind of feels, I don't want to say obsolete, but at the same time I do.
Okay, actually, you know what? I think this is the one I bought on Switch like almost a decade ago, because I remember thinking visually it looked amazing, and it kind of looked like an amped up like Super Hang On, right?
Yeah.
But it's really hard to play because, like you're saying, you do kind of tap steer, and it doesn't like, if I remember correctly, like the steering for an analog stick doesn't auto center, right? So you kind of have to like recenter the bike on your own, and it's just really hard to play.
It's that oh gosh, what was that Famicom game?
Yeah,
that I played for the first episode of the retro F1 games. It was the same idea, where it was just kind of having to tap to cycle through the kind of like turn degrees of turn radius or whatever.
Yes. Okay.
Like once you get used to it, it's actually not a bad method of control. I don't think it's just very odd because it's rare. Yeah.
It's just very awkward to get used to. Like,
I do remember. I've not played it. It's got the classic, the character art, which is within all the way that they draw characters in all Neo Geo games, like Neo Turf Masters and stuff. It just looks the same. It's cool. I love it, man. I love it.
It's a cool little game.
Yeah, it's a really pretty game.
It says it has role-playing elements in it. What's that in there?
So that's like I was saying earlier, where you can go to like the different shops and you could buy parts for your bike, and you get random battles against rival bikers. Like another guy will pop up and like, I want to race you, and then you'll both go on like a point-to-point like outrun kind of race.
Okay. That sounds cool.
It's a cool little game. Like, it's very interesting, and like the aesthetics are there, but it's just really awkward to get used to the handling.
I think if I can get past that like stumbling block, then it seems like there's a lot here. There's a lot of like the characters talking about death, and
yeah, it's
that's why I ride, to feel closer to death.
It's funny to be looking at the little like interstitial sequences of the like apartment that you kind of have between races and stuff, where you're planning out like because it's very like almost a Tokimeki Memorial-esque in that like kind of planning out your schedule way of like the kind of life sim elements, except you also have an arcade timer at the top of the screen ticking down in those like take a break, rest, time 2 minutes. Like it's good stuff. It's still like there are a lot of weird ways that some of those early Neo Geo games were experimenting with kind of blurring the line, I think, between what the sort of philosophy of a home console experience was, I think, a little bit kind of around the turn of that decade into the arcade. And obviously there's a lot of talk about, people talk about Neo Geo as if the AES was much of a going concern, like as if it was like, oh, it's an arcade and a console, the same thing at both places. Like, not really. No, it's an arcade machine that you can quickly, cheaply, and easily swap out cartridges with for the actual like game ROMs inside for the owners and operators. And there was a very expensive home version that you could rent for events and stuff, and eventually they also just sold that, but not like in a retail capacity. Anyway,
I think the biggest gut of that, before we get back on topic, was the having a credit limit on the home versions.
Oh yeah.
And you couldn't essentially like free play everything because it was a 4 credit limit. So it's like essentially you're not getting a arcade to home console, you're getting an arcade port that you have limited credits.
I always forget about the actual like differences in those ROMs because I've only ever had a CMVS, so I'm just used to having a dedicated button for credit feeding on the back of the
I've only had a 2 slot. So I'm with you.
Strange that way, but I think in terms of like what we talk about with the like actual like ideas of blending the kind of home and arcade experiences and stuff there, I think like when I think of that aspect of the kind of identity of the Neo Geo as a thing, that's what I'm thinking of, is things like this where you have these little like moments where in between stages where you're applying stats or resources or whatever. And like that's not that different from, you know, even things that were happening 5 or 6 years previously in the arcades in like, you know, action platformers and stuff like that from Capcom or whatever. But like this is not that different in theory from like having a shop in Fantasy Zone or Ordine or
exactly.
what am I thinking of?
Forgotten Worlds
or whatever. Exactly. Yeah, thank you. But it's, I don't know, they integrated it into the kind of like little personal story of your run there, so you have kind of a narrative framing for for what is essentially Hang On.
Yeah, essentially just Hang On with a nitro boost and more difficult tap steering.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Riding Hero's decent. Then Pole Position, I forget when Pole Position came out, but it was definitely a big gap of time in between like Riding Hero and like the next racing game. I'm pretty sure Overtop was somewhere in between in there. Do we want to get our Overtop mention out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Overtop.
Yeah, because I've played that one, and again, this is where we get to like sort of like the big issue with me in these games, which is that like I can't do top down or isometric racing games. It's funny because I think even though Drift Out's kind of adjacent, we should talk about Drift Out later, but like as I was going through and looking at all of the Drift Out games, I didn't realize that the first Drift Out was like kind of like a Tate style, like vertical sort of orientation screen. And it's completely top down. So you can more easily than I would say in Drift Out, you can see where you're going, or than in Overtop or the later Drift Outs, you can see where you're going. Because in Overtop, like it does like it's warning you where the corner is going to be. And does it do the thing that, because I know Drift Out 94 and Neo Drift Out do a thing where it zooms in like in the straightaways? Does Overtop do that as well?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I don't think it did that zooming that Drift Out did.
I don't think.
I don't believe so.
Because I appreciate all of the ways in which, like, you know, these isometric developers making these isometric racing games tried to like make up for the fact that you couldn't really see the horizon, but like none of them really work for me. Like clearly there was effort there, but yeah, it's just hard, which is a shame because I mean, again, this and Drift Out, I pair them together obviously a lot, but like they're beautiful games. And I don't know, this era of like, I feel like these days there's sort of like some rejection of like the pre-rendered 3D sprites. But I still think they can look good. And in a case like this, like I love looking at these little sprites of like the Diablo and the F-50.
Shiny plastic little
like,
Hot Wheel toys.
Yeah. Kind of feels like, kind of feels like a little like Tomica like diecast thing that you're racing. And, you know, and the artwork is exceptional. So I wish I could enjoy these games more because they look really cool.
Fun fact. Well, keep going, Paul.
No, I was gonna say, like, visually they were like cutting edge games at the time, right? That's which is always a weird thing for me when people remake like Virtual Racing now or try to make a version of it, like. But the reason it looked like that then was because that was the maximum,
that was the maximum
as far as anyone had ever reached.
Yeah, and it's. Yeah.
No, I just thought it was funny you mentioned like Hot Wheels tiny cars, because if you know Gaelco, that World Rally game, that was essentially how they made that game. Was they took a die cast of a little Toyota Celica and repainted it and took pictures for the sprite for that car in game.
Yeah, and it works, and it works, and it's like convincing for, you know, to be digitized into a sprite like that.
Yeah, exactly.
On the display back then, it works. Kind of reminds me the worst, not really relatable example, but how the cover of like Test Drive, I think Test Drive 4 it's just like 1/18 scale Maisto cars.
100%.
Like a Viper and just looks horrible, but World Rally looks good, but yeah.
I looked at the Cobra and that was the first thing I seen were the plastic headlights.
Yeah. It's because I had like 3 of those, I think, when I was a kid for some reason, and But Overtop's cool.
Overtop's cool.
And they do give you that little map, which is something that you don't get in Drift Out, so that's neat.
It's
That's helpful.
I like Overtop, but Overtop loses its fun for me when I'm 4 stages in and I'm on like the snow and the dirt stages, and I'm like, why am I driving 20 miles per hour in this Lamborghini? Like, otherwise, it's an amazing game. Like,
these games are hard too. That's part of the problem. Yeah.
Well, they were just coin. They wanted your credits, right? That was just purely based on. And when we talk about top speed and full throttle, they get so hard so fast. Like, which is weird because Outrun wasn't like that. You could complete Outrun.
Yeah, you could top speed.
Fairly decent at it, and like and like thinking into the future, like you could play Daytona or Virtual Racing and finish it. You wouldn't win necessarily, but whereas those games, man, you would. You were done very, very quickly.
Well, I mean, Paul, do we want to talk about the one game we can't finish a race in before we go to top speed? Good old final lap? Because I don't think either of us have finished the race yet. It's too hard. But I think, looking at the graphical style, I think they did that same thing with World Rally, where they used a little die-cast to like digitize the Formula 1.
Okay.
That's how it looks to me.
Yeah, so with Final Lap, I was reading something that those were like, I mean, they definitely look like real F1 cars, digitized. Mm-hmm. But do you get to choose them? Because I was watching some gameplay and it didn't seem like
you can change them. It's in the dip switch settings, like it is for Rave Racer 2 and such. Like,
but you can change them though. The operator,
the operator has to change it.
Because
Or I guess it had more. Did it have link up? And that maybe then it was switched.
It had link up.
Yeah.
Final Lap and Suzuka 8 Hours were like Namco's 2 big multiplayer racing games back in the day.
Yeah, dude, Suzuka is one I would love to see for
the cars did it really good.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that one. Final Lap's good.
Yeah, I have that one on SNES, but
the SNES version.
I've spent a lot of time with Pole Position 1 and 2 over the last few years.
Nice.
So when this the ACA 2 release for Final Lap came out, I jumped on that on the PlayStation because I was like, this is the highest fidelity racing game I've ever seen, essentially, by comparison. I need the power of the PS5. I need this on the big TV. This is too realistic for the power of the Nintendo Switch. So I started playing this for our last series on retro F1 games, just because it was convenient that it came out while we were recording for that, and then I forgot to bring it up, so I'm pretending that I pushed it here. But I don't remember what my notes were from that, but I don't know, man. I just wanted to echo again that it is a hell of a lot of fun and feels shockingly good.
100%.
The way that it's mapped to the controller is really, really excellent. The amount of like actual, like very easy and direct control you have over the vehicle, as opposed to the overwhelming majority of console ports of this type of racing game. And I think I'll go on to give the same praise to their pole position ports as well, for just having really good like steering to analog stick mapping. Having been done there, and I think that really makes all of the difference for these, because having now played every home port of Pole Position 1 and 2, probably more than they deserve to be, in the last 3 years, I've gotten very used to them just not feeling like particularly well considered, maybe, like they were not given the time they needed to be tuned into something playable, really. A lot of them just...
I can agree. I feel like the top is probably like the Namco Museum games, and then under that...
Well, that's what I mean, though, is like even most of those have some serious issues with the way that the steering is mapped for pole position. A particular standout, the mass media one on N64. The steering on that one is fantastic. Very, very good. It's like the next one down below the arcade archives. But that's kind of my main like thing that I wanted to shout out there for both Final Lap and the 2 pole positions on here. Is I'm just so shocked at how controllable they are.
I'm more shocked
The
at
bar
how
is on the
Final
floor,
Lap
people.
feels, because Final Lap feels like a more elaborate, fleshed out pole position. Like,
It does.
and that's
yeah.
what's gravitating me towards it, is because it's like you sit there and you get good at the controls. Not the controls.
Get good at you.
The controls get good at you, but also it's like those two specific corners, the chicane and right before spoon. Paul, you know what I'm talking about, where you have to downshift and you have to
I know
essentially cut
exactly.
the grass. Like,
It's still Suzuka. Yep.
Yeah.
still Suzuka.
Yeah.
But it's like
It's a special move your way around
exactly,
that corner.
but the way you like have to take certain corners and how you have to drive in Final Lap, just I love how it feels as an evolution of pole position. Like, I hope we get the others,
Yeah, it's wicked.
because I think there's at least 2 or 3 arcade
Yeah,
ones.
sure.
Just
That'd be cool.
anytime you take a track, a real life track, I know that, pole position have Fuji and everything, but now, we're starting to get more like the tracks actually are supposed to be and more the shape of the tracks, but condensed down into a 40-second lap. And that's kind of madness. Like when you play Le Mans 24, the Seiko's Le Mans 24, which is
the
not
best one.
a great game, but when you're doing a whole lap of Le Mans and Circuit de la Sarthe in like a minute, it's just
That's insane.
it kind of breaks your brain.
With time of day shifting as well.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's cool. And God, that chicane comes up on you really fast. Yeah, I'm watching gameplay now, and it's clear to me that they've removed all of the real life brands from the advertisements and stuff. But what I love is that they replace because this was back in a time where you could have like alcohol and tobacco ads in video games, and so they have like a big John Player special billboard, like they used to have on the Lotus that Senna used to drive, and they've replaced that in this Arcade Archives version with Libble Rabble in the same black and gold color scheme, which is pretty funny.
Yeah,
so
it's the same way it was always done in like every release of pole position since the first Namco Museum is when they changed that ROM to replace all of the billboard bitmaps with like Tower of Jiraga and stuff like that. And you see those sprite sheets on boot up, but they just replaced all the old like Marlboro. I can talk and stuff like that with just other
Namco
games and stuff like that, which is not something that I knew until encountering I don't know, whenever the first time I saw a pole position arcade cabinet was. It's probably late 2000s or something.
There's so many different versions of pole positions billboards, though, because even the US like Atari versions, they replaced out the billboards with like Centipede and other stuff. Like,
yeah, Atari was putting their shit all over.
They lost the licensed tracks, right, at one point as well, right? They didn't always have. In fact, I think I remember talking to you, Jason, when pole position came out. I looked; it was 2023. It came out on Switch. That it had Fuji in it, because there was definitely versions that didn't have those licensed tracks.
100%. I think,
or at least the names.
I think they stopped that after the Atari ports, like the 2600, 7800. After that, they were always Namco and Wonder Course. Long Beach is in there too, but they don't call it Long Beach. It's just Seaside. But you can look at that layout and just like, ooh, it's Long Beach. Like.
Right.
Yeah, I forget what the name is.
So that's cool, man. We went a long time without.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about the archives. Is like they
That's
actually got the Fuji and Suzuka licenses back. Like, yeah, it's the straight Namco versions and the Japanese versions, but it's still the same game. Still the same great game.
Yeah, like even just having little bits of detail, like shading, like the infinite plane of green that is the like grass has a like really like strong and almost overpowering gradient to it. You have the strip of like dirt in the runoff on the edges of, or at least on the inside edges of most of the track, and you have the like more detailed shading in the lip on the corner there, and you have the big like half tire thing that you drive under and everything. Like there are more things there, so you can identifiably like tell what course you're looking at, as opposed to again, pole position. It's more like there are a handful of kind of predetermined styles of turn shapes, and you kind of just look at the mini map and trust that is a representation of the real life raceway. Whereas in this case, if you did not have a mini map and you know, and you know a Suzuka on site, you could, yeah.
I've seen somebody point out that Arcade Archives released Final Lap on the same weekend as the Japanese Grand Prix this year, which I didn't realize. But
that's
that
right.
feels
Yeah, they
about right.
were
So
posting about that on YouTube, I believe.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
That's cool.
I'm here for it. I love that.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Final Lap 2 had 3 other courses.
Ooh.
Yep.
Give me
Play Final Lap too.
Yeah.
So they were sequels.
Monza, Monaco, and, well, a nameless U.S. oval. It's not Indianapolis.
It's just an oval.
It's just an oval.
So Final Lap does that weird thing where it's sequels or upgrades, but they're sequels at the same time. Like where
So it's a Namco game.
Yeah, it's a Namco game. Like they're Namco sequels, and it's just here's Final Lap, but more courses. I sent Paul the picture.
Yeah.
I have to post it in here for you guys maybe to post with the pod.
Mm-hmm.
I had found the one Final Lap I found out here, like arcade wise, for some reason was a Final Lap 3 board hooked up to this little like mini Formula 1 car. Like, you know, for the kids, you put a quarter in and it rocks around. Like, but they had it legitimately hooked up to a Final Lap with the steering and everything. It's insane.
It's amazing.
That was like my first experience ever playing arcade Final Lap besides this. Like, just thankful it's finally
That's
out.
nuts. I would love to take you guys back to the past, which is to say the future, the year after pole position, into 1983 for IREM's Traverse USA. We were talking about Riding Hero earlier, and the kind of difference between games that were doing a top-down thing versus games that were trying to give you some kind of view of the horizon line, some kind of behind-the-back perspective to some degree. And this does both of those in strange ways. It's a like level-based point-to-point, like see how far you can get, try and cross from one coast of the United States to the other, kind of thing. But it's a lot of like kind of straight-on, top-down, almost more like Spy Hunter style. Moving your little motorcycle dude around the screen and dodging other cars, and picking up fuel and stuff like that. Jumping. There is a jump. You are dodging Donkey Kong barrels falling that are falling out of trucks in front of you and stuff like that. Let's see. So it's LA to Las
Strangely
Vegas.
feel
to
like I played
Houston to
this,
St.
but I
Louis,
might know it under a different
Louis,
name.
Chicago.
What'd you say? Traverse USA?
Yeah.
It looks like it's also been called Moto Race USA.
That's the
I was
one.
going to say, it reminds me a
probably,
lot of a very specific PC Engine game, which is what I was getting into there. Because, it reminds me a lot of, am I thinking of Motor Rotor? What am I thinking of? Anyway, you get to the end of a level and you're pulling into
That's what I'm
the
thinking. I'm thinking
next-
Zippy Race. Like,
Zippy
okay.
Race.
The end of the top-down levels is like, okay, the last stretch into the city, and you kind of like see a very simple, chunky pixel cartoon representation of the city, like quote-unquote skyline, for lack of a better word, on the top part of the screen above the horizon line, and you have the vanishing point going up towards it, and you are riding into oncoming traffic, so everything is coming at you and scaling weird in a different way that the rest of the game is not, so you have to like put your brain in a whole other like mode of perspective and start learning to expect sprite sizes in different places. It's weird.
you have to like anticipate the traffic and dodge it. Like,
but it's different than what you've been doing up until that point. So it's like, here, play a different video game now, in a weird way. And it's just kind of
That's cool.
It's that like last section right before each kind of city that you land into. So it's kind of like the end of level boss rush a little bit. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Came out on Famicom. Maybe we'll see it on Switch one day.
Can you imagine, like, at the time playing a game like this, and all of a sudden the perspective shifts, and you're driving into the horizon, you're like, holy shit.
Die immediately.
Yeah.
That's the real next gen.
Yeah.
graphics. Oh my god.
This game is so cute. At first I thought it was a simulation of driving through Traverse City, Michigan, but that's not all that it is limited to.
I mean, like, if you look at everything else around 81, 82, like, pole position looks like it came from space, like it came from the future. It looks like obviously what is actually happening there is very simple, and it's an elevation of like the electromechanical games that they were already doing in the 70s. But it's just in terms of what is on the screen as a visual representation of a thing, it looks so much more realistic, quote unquote, than anything else around it that anytime I encounter pole position in the wild, I'm just imagining a child in 1982 being like, video games will never ever look better than this, and then this hypothetical child's brain just explodes into a million pieces. Such is the power of pole position. This is the year after, and it looks significantly less impressive, I guess, but there's also, because it's modal and it's more detailed, there's more going on, it's like it looks worse, but there's more it's like more advanced also. It's strange. Anyway.
There's crazy advancements. We've spoken about it before, like when Rave Racer came out, it was such a generational leap that in all areas, in every area, you can think of like level design, graphics, texture mapping, graphics, frame rate, music, AI, level design, tracks, everything. Everything was amazing. It wasn't just like one thing was good. All of it was good. It was incredible.
No one had ever
we'll talk about Ridge in a bit,
dared to dream of a Rotterdam nation before.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a deep cut that hits home, because one of my core like gaming memories as a kid was seeing virtual racing when it came out. And just seeing those graphics growing up and just like, oh my god, like I never had quarters for it, but just watching the demo mode and seeing that blocky Formula 1 driving around, it's just, oh my god, graphics, like
incredible
what they were doing with early 3D.
Never seen a virtual racing in the wild before.
Same.
And God, what of those machines still exist? Especially Model 1. I mean, hell, I feel like I don't even see like Virtua Fighter 1 out there.
Nah, I haven't seen a Virtua Fighter 1 out in the wild for a minute either. It's always I see VF2 or VF3.
As soon as I'm not destitute, unemployed, I want to take a camera down to 100 Yen Life here and just do a check-in, see what they got. It's like the only place that any arcade machines might still be alive on like this corner of the country. But other than that, it's kind of...
Arcades are getting barren.
You're just not going to find anything anywhere.
That could be a pod in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode, I'm sure. It's like there used to be a number of places around Seattle that I could point to or go to and go see a lot of different arcade machines from throughout time. And by the end of 2020, almost all of them were gone.
Was GameWorks as magical as everybody says it was?
No, GameWorks sucks.
Oh, okay.
It is the only remaining game.
I wanted to legitimately ask.
But it's still a crap hole. It's still essentially a Chuck E. Cheese. It's like, yes, they do have a 4-player linked up Daytona 2, but also all the cars are broken in a different way, and it's going to be broken in a different way.
One's got a broken shifter, one's got a broken steering wheel, the other one's view change buttons don't work. Like, I've dealt with that out here.
Yeah, I think I've even listed off those exact things on this show before. I feel like every time I go there is something wrong with them in a different way. It's like the most exciting other things you're going to see there is like they have 2 afterburner climaxes, but one of them has never been on that I've seen. They have a tank machine, which is neat. They got rid of the Mr. Driller last time I was there.
Oh, damn.
They used to have like an old like Nintendo light gun toy thing from the 70s. It's not there anymore.
Word.
Do you like Soul Calibur 3 with the worst monitor calibration you've ever seen? Does that sound cool? If only the red gun was on in the CRT. It was blurred to shit.
That sounds terrible. Oh my god.
Yeah. What if you want to play Raiden 2 but you can't move left?
Yeah, sure.
It's a lot of it's basically stuff like that. It's like a lot of it is in either disrepair or it's just like everything around it is so like violently depressing that it's very difficult to enjoy any of it. But anyway,
that's fair. I love the deep dive. I'm here for it.
One day, I wish all of you can go to floor 6 in that one arcade in Akihabara. I can't remember, but it's just every racing game. It's such a glorious place. I could have spent way more time there if there weren't other people waiting on me who wanted to move on with their lives and see other, admittedly, like generally more impressive things in that city. But I was having the time of my life.
At the rate things are going, if I ever make it over to Japan at this point, they will have outlawed and destroyed all video games by the time I get there.
Same.
Like everybody's just looking at me like, we can't watch you like continue to fail at 500 GP so many times, like trying to like sing on the bike and trying to move it with my whole body.
Adam, we care about you. We can't watch you destroy yourself like this.
This game is made for literal children. Act like I've never moved any of my limbs ever.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Is the big oversized Ferrari still out by you, Adam? Do you outrun too?
Oh,
The 2SP?
Where was there a 2SP? Oh, yes, there is. It's in Willow Grove Mall. There's a 2SP.
that's crazy.
And then, or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, and then and of course the F355 Challenge 2 that we were playing is gone. That one's in PA where they have too many games.
That's
I've just learned about an Indy 500 cabinet that is in a barcade in Philly, and I have not gone and played that yet. So, yeah, that'll be next on the list.
There is an F355 deluxe cab at GameWorks though up here, so there is that if you want to embarrass yourself because it's F355 challenge.
Oh,
so
an arcade
you have to sit there for however many hours before you even learn how to get that car around the track. And it's like, well, how many dollars?
As an
hours
arcade game, I will love to embarrass myself on. Oh, I always love embarrassing
No
myself
one is
on.
ever playing that thing when you walk up to it because people just bounce right off it. It's like really impressive and cool to see because it's got the big 3 monitors and the big sit down thing. It's like also I'm 6'2", I don't fit inside it, so it's great.
Yeah, it's a tight fit.
Yeah. The thing with that game that's like always amazing to me is like even if it isn't as punishing as like a modern simulator, it still has way more realistic braking points than a lot of games still do today. And if you're not braking well in advance, you are just sliding off, and then there's no grip off the track.
There's also no like resistance on the accelerator, so it's almost impossible not to just like immediately spin out every single time, even if you're really trying to feather it very carefully.
Light it up.
It's real weird. Anyway, those have been Arcade Archives games.
So speaking of
I
games
wish.
with clutches and 6-speed
Maybe one day.
shifters, Ridge Racer had a clutch and a 6-speed shifter. They put that on
Sure
Archives.
It did.
You guys ever hear of that there, Ridge Racer?
They're ridges.
No,
He's
didn't think
racing
so.
the ridges. He's racing
No one
them ridges.
on this show has any history with this franchise whatsoever.
Does it have their versions of Ridge and Rave Racer? Are they doing full like wheel support, shifter support, all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even
Okay,
you can
cool.
map the
Oh,
clutch to
not
R1 if you want.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Great.
Yeah, it's got a DX version and the standard version. Yeah.
'Cause the-
Man,
Excellent.
I like what they do with how the right analog stick is essentially the 6-speed, and you up, down for first, second, third, fourth when you play it in the DX mode. Like, that's kind of cool. You use the trigger as your clutch.
Yeah.
Gotta
The
try that
kind
out
of like
on the
H-shift fakery with the stick, which is like too much for my brain to handle while I'm, drifting backwards and sideways. a million miles an hour.
Well, I'm trying to do 360s.
Yeah, exactly. Reverse 360 flat spins through a suspension bridge.
I love how
man,
Ridge Racer just got Call of Duty speak. In 7.65 it got Call of Duty speak in 7.65 seconds.
Yeah.
360 flat spinning it
360
on
no scope and people are
Seaside.
doing 765 flat spins. Baby.
Well, I know at least Andrew knows that like Ridge Laser laser disc where there's just somebody playing the game who's just like doing exactly. Of course you have it. Just doing fucking like
Also have the
spins and
soundtrack.
shit in midair.
Yeah, it's a lot of
also going on like
So that's not-
2 wheels, which
That's not
isn't
gameplay.
possible?
That's
Yeah.
like promotional footage from Namco. They did that with a lot of their stuff around like 93 to 96 ish. Like especially like Tekken is the other big one that's I think even more common than this is the Tekken Laserdisc. They were things that people would leave, like arcade operators would leave them running in a monitor in the window to show off new games as people were walking past to, get people in the door. So it's effectively a souped-up hour-long attract mode, and it's bug nuts as a result. So there's a lot of like weird shots of like big sweeping helicopter shots of a line of like 20 cars up on two wheels, like that MII video. But also doing weird reverse 360 flat spins and stuff. And it's things that the actual game physics will not let you do. But you can do more of the stuff in there than it looks like you should be able to, because it is still Ridge Racer and it is still
there is still ways to break it.
Yeah.
That's so evil, though, like showing these like techniques that you can't do. Do they do anything like that with the Tekken Laserdisc, which I've just pulled up now?
I don't know. I don't.
It just looks like regular gameplay. Yeah,
it's just the Paul GIF over and over again.
Tapes, but nothing for this. But yeah, no. This was kind of the big ACA release for a long time that we were always kind of. It was like this and Outfoxies. I think were kind of the two big like daydreaming. Like, come on, it's never gonna happen. But what if it did? And then it did. And they've been kind of cranking them out since then. We've got Aquajet and Rave Racer and a few other like System 22 games and stuff as well.
Ace Combat.
I gotta get
Air Combat 22. The tank combat game. I'm blanking the name of
Tokyo Wars.
Tokyo Battle. Tokyo Wars. Thank you. I was confusing that with Namco's old Tank Battle series, which is also related. Well, Tank is a whole
all Battalion and like Battle City and such.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Cyber Command last week.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Ridge Racer and Rave Racer both back to back.
That's definitely a good back-to-back.
Released, but but those two and Aquajet, I think, are kind of the three like System 22 Namco games that fit our subject matter here.
At the time we recorded this episode, Arcade Archive's Ace Driver was not yet out.
And I have had so much fun with these, just time attacking over and over. Just again, brain off, just sink into the couch and just shave those tenths off, man, over and over all day long. Just keep hitting reset, keep hitting the feed credit button, and just keep going around. And that's my happy place, man. Aquajet, even for kids at home, Aquajet is a jet ski racer. Think like Wave Race, but way better. Sorry, Paul, I only to see if I can make you angry at me.
How about that?
I do like it more than Wave Race, but that's just because I'm not a big Wave Race guy. To be clear, I'm not. I have nothing. I have no smoke for Wave Race. I have no problem. I like Wave Race.
Wave Race.
It doesn't activate like the Namco part of my brain the way that Aquajet does. And you
just got yourself kicked right off the Flashback 64 episode, going back in time to do games they've already talked about.
Exactly. Yes. Somehow.
I mean,
actually, that'd be a fun one, Paul. You should approach Goo with the idea of going back to revisiting games they've already done that got the Rumble Pack upgrades later in Japan.
Yeah, cool. We shouldn't do Wave Race on
Star Fox. It's topical now.
Yeah, Star Fox is up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Aquajet is from 1996 as well, which I think is the same year as Wave Race 64, right? Question mark. Anyway,
it was both the same year. Yep.
But obviously this is an arcade game and a System 22 game, and very obviously so. But it is very much still of that same kind of philosophy of like 3D Namco arcade racers. It's blisteringly fast. Frame rates and everything. Everything feels like it is kind of held together by duct tape in a way that's like weirdly impressive. This feels like the kind of thing that I have a vague memory of having my brain exploded by in arcades as a very, very small child before they started to disappear from my grasp.
See, that's what I thought too, but then I always got it confused with Sega's game. What is it, Wave Runner? I always blend them two together.
That issue.
I actually never knew that Aquajet existed, but I knew about Wave Runner. And once I bought Aquajet, played it, loved it, never knew about it before I played it. It looks kind of more, I imagine they had the same kind of, in the arcade, they had the same kind of like you're riding a fake jet ski thing,
big
right?
jet
the
ski
Wave Runner
kinda.
did, because
It's got a big like, thing you hold on to and jump up and down, because they mapped the motion controls to the PlayStation controller or whatever, and I didn't want to try that until I saw the video that they posted of someone on their staff like putting up some really, really good times doing that with a little like weird like device that they made to stick the controller in to like kind of
I think I've seen that. Yeah. Basically,
yeah.
Having seen both of them now, to compare them, I actually, Wave Runner looks a little bit duller by comparison. Like Aquajet definitely has more of like a Namco like out there kind of Ridge Racer track design to it. That I really appreciate. I mean, I think you fling yourself off of a waterfall at one point, which you don't.
And you sink underneath the water, and you can kind of like aim.
Yes.
Like, and how you are aimed vertically on that jump is maybe the biggest like single difference maker in your lifetime. Because of how you hit the water and how you sink into it. It's so weird the way the physics work on that.
But it's like pretty out there though compared to, I mean, Wave Race obviously is definitely a lot more like realistic, and then like a Wave Runner is too. So I like Aquajet. My only issue with Aquajet is I just wish there was more of it. I wish it got a sequel or something like that. And or at least had like more than just those two tracks, which is just extension of the single track.
Oh, so it's like Ridge Racer.
There is
like,
that
there's the
unlockable
track and then the long extension. Like,
pretty much. And there is you can play as a dolphin. No, a penguin. I think you play as a penguin. I have to look this up again because it's really funny, and it's one of the things I love to give credit back to, bringing it all back to Hamster, is that when a game has some sort of weird cheat or ability or something, like some secret to it, they will tell you how to get it. Like they'll explain it to you. If you go into a manual, they'll be like, "Here's how you unlock the penguin in Aquajet." And it's like, thanks.
They're just excited about it. You know?
Yeah. I could only get working on like one of the tracks. I remember I couldn't get working in like one of the modes or one of the tracks or something like that. But cool
I like
stuff.
the attention to detail that Hamster puts in. Like, it gives me similar vibes of how the Namco museums came out on PlayStation, and how there's always like that little bit of info or tips or telling you about the history of the game or such. Like, that's what I'm appreciating about each one of these sports that comes out. Like,
Jason, you are going to love this video I've been working on.
Hell yeah.
And I kind of wish Nintendo did more of that with
yes,
the NSO stuff. Like, they've got a decent amount of games on there generally now. Although they're still trickling them out really slowly, but it's like they don't celebrate them much, so
there's no fanfare.
Put more stuff in, put some concept art in for stuff or something. Especially as they've got all that stuff right. Yeah. It'd been really cool to do that. Or put some. They'd never do the prototype stuff, but like put the prototype of Wave Race on there when it was crafts right before. When they showed it originally, it wasn't actually jet skis.
Boats.
It was like futuristic crafts and stuff, boats and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
More like
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Hydro Thunder.
That sounds cool. I'd try that. Like,
yeah.
Oh, dude.
Put concept art.
Sorry, that just gave me weird flashbacks. Cool, I lived for 8 years in Eastern Washington, which is post-apocalyptic Washington. There's no water over there, but there are rivers, and we used to have these boat races through there where these ridiculous Hydro Thunder style boats would go flying at speeds I can only describe as an affront to God and science, and everyone would always get drunk off their ass, and boats would flip and everything would explode and people would die every year. It was kind of the one thing that people were just like coming out of town for every year. It was like, all right, well, it's summer, the boat races are going to be a thing. There's going to be a bunch of like half-drunk Nazis from Idaho hanging out on the shores for the next 3 weeks. So,
okay.
Anyway, we're talking about video games.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I didn't really touch a lot of the Neo Geo stuff for this because I felt like, I don't know, for whatever reason, in my mind, ACA Neo Geo is like a slightly separate series, even though that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I've always labeled Neo Geo games like in their own like wheelhouse because it's all AES, MVS, arcade archives, collections. Like, there's so many ways to play Neo Geo games now. Like,
That's true.
And the one for me not being on there is Neo Drift Out. I mean, as you said, it's in that Visco collection, or Visco, however you say it. But that Neo Drift Out is my favorite of all of those. So to have one, that'd be
it's a
fucking cool to
top-down, and I don't know if it has an arcade archives, but Thrash Rally is a pretty good Neo Geo game. Oh, it does have an archives? Okay.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good Neo Geo racing
on Switch.
I like that one. It's like a not Paris-Dakar, kind of like Big Run. How Big Run does the Paris-Dakar rally.
Yeah, it's still very much in that kind of rare style of like top-down Micro Machines-y kind of racing.
You know what I like about it? I like the sprite effects when you hit jumps and it like zooms in and out, and there's the scaling.
Shadow.
Like, I love that.
Yeah. Visco, what's the deal with Visco? They were part of Taito or something?
I'm not sure what the history is there. I just know it's one of those companies that whoever owns like the rights to Visco's stuff has been putting it out everywhere. It's one of those things, it's one of those weird phenomena, I guess, that we're seeing now, where like all of these old forgotten companies, like someone has like the rights to distribution for all this old stuff. So there's like, throw out this like Drift Out collection on the Polymega. Here's this Captain Tomade collection on the Polymega. Here's this random collections on the Switch and stuff. It's just one of those things where it's like somebody owns all these and they are just putting them out everywhere.
It's like how the Double Dragon rights used to be, and there was so many different Double Dragons put out by so many different people. Like, because they just had the license to Double Dragon. All right, shove it out there. Like,
let's talk about Drift Out for a bit, because it's kind of like a side thing. So, wow, I didn't realize they did a whole collection for the Polymega. So they got.
Again, I love that we're talking about this the week after I shipped it across the country. Finally selling all that stuff.
But they don't have Neo, which is what the Visco collection has, I think.
It does, yes.
Or maybe they also do have Neo Drift Down the Poly. Yeah, it looks like they have all.
I feel like it was on there.
I mean, they should. So they went to the trouble of removing licenses to get those, because all of those games have real licensed cars. And what's really funny about it is, like, I would want to kind of go digging through all of like the new versions, or like the Polymega ones, because like they had licensed cars, and they actually have like it was licensed by the FIA World Rally Championship, because you got the like logos kind of scrolling through the background. But then there's one car, I guess for some reason the Ford Escort was a problem. So in Neo Drift Out, it's called like the Tord Escort. It's just like,
gosh, that's
and you can make it like, I was like, Tord is like such a weird fake, but it's like if you get rid of like the middle line and an F in the Ford logo, it suddenly becomes Tord. So yeah, it's cute that it's cool that somebody went to the trouble of doing that. Again, games that I have a really hard time going back and playing, but one that I really want to shout out is Super Drift Out, because that was one of those games where I played. I'm like, again, this won't be something I return to, but the soundtrack was immediately really appealing to me, and it was done by a guy named Kenji Yamazaki, who I don't think has a lot of credits. He had he worked on like Mega Man 2 or something, and some stuff here and there, and then that Phantom Crash game on the Xbox.
Hell yeah, dude!
Yeah,
I legitimately did not know that you didn't know what Phantom Crash was. I apologize.
Nah.
I thought you were messing with me.
I think if you ask most people, if you go out on the street, I think most people aren't going to know what Phantom Crash is.
Yeah, they will. Everybody's a Genki stan.
Yeah.
But that game, Super Drift Out, has such a weird, wild, like, it's like a wrong soundtrack for a racing game, but it's so fucking good. It's like little gremlin techno is how I describe it. It's like little weird gremlin techno, like some of the songs, and some of it's like kind of like Streets of Rage adjacent too. Like it's just like it's weird shit, and it just kind of scratches my brain in all the right places. I like it.
That's also why the Phantom Crash original soundtrack is much better than Steel Lancer Arena International, the spiritual successor on the PlayStation 2, where it's just blasting licensed Christian rock bands at you.
A little sly.
It's just like, here's some super shit.
So it only came out in Japan. US release was planned but cancelled.
For what now?
Yes, Accolade was apparently Super Drift Out.
Oh,
Accolade was going to localize that, and then it would have been like late for the system, and they didn't do it. But then they were going to remove all of the. I think they did remove all the car licenses for it, and there is a build of that that's been floating around of the canceled US version of Super Drift Out.
So Night came out in 95, so yeah, after PlayStation
So
launched.
I'm looking into the composer, and he apparently also did Ninja Gaiden on Game Gear and Superman on Genesis.
Okay.
Okay.
On Game Gear, huh? Someone has to do it.
Yep. Well, that was what was it? Sims Corp? The same people who did Outrun 2019. They did a lot of contract work for Sega.
Oh, that would make sense. But anyway, speaking of Sega, Konami's 1984 game Road Fighter has a release on Arcade Archives, and this game
Road Fighter's good stuff. I like Road Fighter.
Road Fighter's good. Yeah, Road Fighter's cool as shit, man. It's another Spy Hunter type thing in the sense that it is a very quick top-down, like positional. It's more about dodging and picking up power-ups and stuff, and it's more about you're not turning and racing, and you're not kissing apexes. Apices? What's? I'm not gonna worry about that.
You tried,
but like it's
Apex.
But it's a very strange control scheme where it's like you hold down the gas until you start redlining, and then you hold down the high gear button as like a second gas, and then you're holding them both down, and then you're actually driving at like the speed the game is supposed to run at, which is already weird, but it's like a very, very buttery smooth 60, and just like the way everything moves is so satisfyingly smooth, and it's very easy to just like stare at and uncross your eyes and just kind of like let instinct take over in that like classic arcadey sense.
It's so
when
like
you bounce
Twitch
into other cars on the road, you kind of but like you don't just immediately fail and explode. You kind of just like bounce off them and wiggle around a little bit. So it's not nearly as brutally difficult as a lot of other entries in this genre were around this era, which makes it very like what we used to call eminently playable until everyone stopped saying that because it doesn't mean anything. Like
eminently okay.
Yeah, Road Fighter's awesome, dude. There's not a whole lot of meat on that bone necessarily, but like it feels great. It's a fun time. Is it worth $8? I don't know about that, but like in terms of like cool early 80s arcade games that represent what people were doing with making cars go real fast. I think this is among the best examples of that era, I think, for me.
Was this what Capcom originally wanted to call Street Fighter, but it was taken?
Yeah.
No, that's it. I'm done. That was my straw. I'm sorry. I'm out of here. You guys have fun.
Well, I was going to mention shout-outs while we're talking about Road Fighter and Konami. Some fans just did a port of Road Fighter to the Master System, and it actually plays really good.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I think it was for a Master System coding contest that happened recently. But
that's great.
It's a really good port of Road Fighter. It does like the one button, then you switch over to the other button to shift. Like,
nice. Was that a European joint? Something about that just smells like a UK bedroom coder project.
Might be. It might be.
It's got that kind of that heat on it.
Yeah. I love all these old racing games had low and high gear shifting. It's like cars have never had that.
Yeah,
right.
Your 2-speed transmission. Yeah.
It was such a weird thing. Like,
it's not even the pole position like flop between these two gears thing though. Like with Road Fighter, it's like you hold down the gas until you get to the top of your like RPM range or whatever, and then you hold down another button, and then you're holding down two buttons. It's so weird.
It's kind of cool how like if you go back to like actual cars in like the early 1900s and stuff, nobody like there was no standard for how you control an automobile. So some cars had like speed was determined, throttle was just binary, like it was a position. Like I think the Model T was like that. Like it was like, do you want to go sort of fast or too fast? Like those were your two options. And It's just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there were similar ideas early on to like what we have now with like one pedal driving with a lot of electric cars, or gosh, what was that weird 80s experiment that Jeremy Clarkson was driving around that had like the weird little like joystick shifter that just kind of like moves from side to side, or not shifter, but like steering thingy.
Might have been
just like sits down there in the console next to your lap. It's just like a horrible way to operate a gigantic precision instrument, but you know, whatever. Can we?
What's next on the list?
I was gonna say if anyone, I want to touch on Highway Race a little bit as well, while we're on the subject of Road Fighter, because it's a pretty similar doodad. It's from the year before. It's 83. It's a Taito joint.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
It is another
more
vertical.
Taito.
Yeah, for sure. It is an early Taito arcade game, which is to say it's a handful of very loud, bright colors. And,
Holy mother of God.
Yeah, that's Taito games in a nutshell. This color, really bright, garish colors. At least the early games.
We can only use like 4 of them, so they've got to go.
Yeah, it's like all of their arcade games end up looking like native Master System ports in some weird way. But yeah, this is one I was thinking of that has you have like a jump and a parachute at the end of like there's like a broken highway at the end of each level or whatever.
Weird.
But yeah, it's a very flashy game. It's trying to do a lot of I don't know, like weird like color flashing. There's the big like neon steering wheel thing that shows up in like the like loading screens or whatever. But yeah, you have a dedicated jump button. You have the parachute is what it becomes at the end when you jump off the kind of broken. What would you even call that? I keep thinking of the end of True Lies, where it's just that gigantic highway over the water that's just like blown apart by the Harrier. Because that's what it looks like. It's just like, what if a freeway over the water exploded in the middle?
What if suddenly Jet Moto? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say this just describes the events of what happened right before Jet Moto,
more or less. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whilst giving you epilepsy.
Yeah, and that too.
Sensitive epilepsy. Yeah.
If you're sensitive to those things, maybe don't watch gameplay of Highway Race.
Yeah, they try to give it a sense of depth a little bit. Like there are banks that you drive on, kind of, where you can see the way that it like they kind of fake a crosshatch, like dithery shading a little bit. Like there's no actual depth on the screen, but the car sprites change. They're like tilted a little bit at an angle from the top, so they kind of look like they're leaning to the left or right a little bit, which is kind of cool. But like,
it's cool.
It's not as like holistically satisfying to play to me as Road Fighter is. So it's fine. I don't give it a big wreck, but it's all right.
Sounds decent. I just thought of another one that's not on archives, but Buggy Challenge was a pretty decent little Taito game.
I thought you were gonna say Bump and Jump for a second. I was like, man,
nah, not Bump and Jump. Everybody's played Bump and Jump.
Both?
Buggy Popper, like.
You want to bump and a jump in this economy? Get out of here.
I was gonna say, wasn't that one of the Burger King games?
No, you're thinking what's it? Big Bumpin' with the bumper cars.
I'm thinking of Big Bumpin'. I know what I'm thinking of. I'm just trying to make Andrew just spike his.
What you're trying to do is get me to go on another rant about Steve Bannon, and I can't. We don't have time. I don't have the energy. We have to stop talking about fascists on our racing game podcast.
This is true.
It's very true. What else we got in here? I didn't play Escape Kids, the running game.
The super off-road with people.
That looks really cool. Yeah, that looks fun.
It looks fun.
It's super off-road, but it looks like there's a lot more weird, cartoony, goofy stuff happening in there.
It looks
very
fun
silly in a very like Neo Geo kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. It has that like goofy Neo Geo look to it. Like Escape Kids looks cool.
I'm
Did anybody pick up? Keep going.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna give it up to you, Jason, for Buggy Challenge because I feel like I would like to play this. I mean, once you move the perspective behind the car, I become endlessly more interested, and it almost looks like a. I mean, I get buggies and all that stuff, but like you're kind of navigating just kind of the open desert.
Exactly.
Until there's a river just randomly out of nowhere, which is pretty funny. But it almost looks like Smuggler's Run, like a very old
prehistoric Smuggler's Run. I get it.
Yeah,
you might like that one. You ever play Buggy Boy? That one's pretty fun too.
Buggy Boy, no. These games, it's literally like you guys are just pulling these like.
We're just pulling them out of a hat.
Yeah,
You just have no
pretty
idea
much.
what we're talking about.
We're just making them
Yep,
up.
just making them up as we go. Points
Final,
don't matter.
final buggy challenge heat.
So definitely give that one a Google, because that is a dune buggy game that's like pole position, and you might like it. I don't know if there's a way you can get it on modern platforms, but I know it's a fun little buggy game.
I don't think so. It looks like it's just arcade only.
I see the Commodore 64 port.
Exactly.
That looks less
Can
appealing.
we touch on the coolest
there's also-
Taito game in here? Real quick,
Night Striker?
which is Top Speed. No, the coolest Taito game that has an ACA release.
True. Yeah.
The argument for coolest
with it.
Taito game in
So-
general is a much bigger one that involves a lot of elevator action
Top Speed
returns.
Top Speed is
cool.
Darius Gaiden.
And gets, like I was saying before, it gets very hard, very, very. After the first stage, it just becomes the hardest game in the universe.
Yeah.
You either hit the sides of the track or the
It's
car.
so
on the track.
fast.
It's like
The sense of speed on here is so much more developed, I think, just by virtue of time and like technological advancement over something like Outrun or whatever. We're just like it almost the speed and the like kind of fake perspective by which all of the billboards of buildings and trees and stuff are flying past you on the sides almost makes it look like Road Rash 3DO. It's
Yeah, a little bit,
It's
yeah.
so fast.
It's like
man.
I'm driving
I-
into like Wile E. Coyote, like tunnels painted on mountains. It's pretty funny.
basically.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
quite the like power drift, like logs on the road kind of thing, but it's
Yeah.
in terms of sprite scaling
It's not far
racers, I think it does a pretty good job of faking the idea of depth, and I think a lot of that is just
Yeah.
due to the amount of sprites that they drew at different angles for the other vehicles on the road that you pass by. So they feel a little bit more convincingly faux 3D as you drive past them, which I think does a lot for the depth. I think that and the fact that the track has, changes in height and elevation in ways that, I mean, Outrun does obviously as well, but it's just those things combine very well here in Top Speed. And it's I don't think I finished a run in this, but it's so damn fun, dude. I don't
The whole
care.
pack
Top
is
Speed
all
rules.
together, yeah.
Well, Paul, before you
Music
joined
is
the call,
great.
Paul had said something about like the way they built this game was like fundamentally different than Outrun or something. Yeah.
It looks different to Outrun. I guess it's like a more advanced sprite scaling tech, isn't it? It's doing more stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not literally a super scalar
I
board.
guess it is.
Well, that was Taito's thing. Was always a little bit take what Sega and other people were doing, not in like a plagiarism type way, but like adding their own spin and like adding their own techniques and graphical hardware to it. It's one thing I will always
Absolutely
give bonus
bug nuts
points to
with it.
Taito for. Yeah, just absolutely going nuts with
Super
it.
maximalist, crazy, yeah.
Yeah, Chase
Yep.
HQ is the same as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
That game, Top Speed, laid a lot of groundwork for Chase HQ. Top Speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the car sounds really good as well. Like the engine revving and stuff. It's like actually sounds like a car. It's unlike
Tire squealing doesn't hurt.
many games of the era.
A big
It's like
feat.
kind of muffled instead of being like really high pitched squeal. A lot of the FM synth sound work in there is really brittle, as is kind of just the state of a lot of mid 80s arcade machines. This was 87, and around this time, a lot of Taito and Data East were sharing. I forget the name of the chip. It's not the YM2112. It's like it's almost the exact same chip as what's in the Mega Drive, but it has two additional operator channels or two less. I don't remember. But that is what is in the Yamaha FB01, which is a different, like almost Rompler style, like synth brain. It's an FM synth, but it's something it's small that you would use like for your PC in the early 90s or something like that. Same idea there. So it's something that I used a good amount of in what's the name of that record? Silver something.
Silver Javelin.
What was that? Yeah, thank you. It's like, what is the album I made for a fake video game that doesn't exist? Because I kept thinking Judgment Silver Sword, which is a real actual video game, like the fake one that I made up. Anyway, I ended up having to. I went on a deep dive of like trying to learn a good chunk about the ways in which different arcade boards in the 80s from different the main like manufacturers that we think of were implementing usage of that sound, and a lot of it is very like cold and brittle like this, just because it wasn't really until like 89, 90, I think, that a lot of tools maybe were available for people to be able to like get more granular with control over. Like, trying to program FM synthesis is extremely complicated because you're modulating the modulations. You have to apply waves and filters to waves and filters. It's all compounding on itself, which is why it all sounds cool and weird and textural, but it means computationally, it means the overwhelming majority of combinations of values are going to sound really, really bad. I have a Korg FM synth that has just a randomize button. It just lets you randomize every value, which is crazy, and it's almost always terrible. Anyway, all that to say, Zuntata, obviously, Taito's in-house band, is legendary and incredible, and I love them with my life. But even a lot of their arrangements for arcade stuff around this era, despite being formed as a band and kind of arranged instrumentally as band arrangements, they work really, really well for making really kick-ass, like, just instrumental rock music from a synthesizer, but it's also just so much of that sound is very brittle and weird, and usually gets worse when emulated, and that's not as bad of a problem today as it used to be. You know, for the longest time, Genesis Mega Drive games had the worst audio when they got re-released anywhere else. It was so bad. And that's still not necessarily a solved problem. Like, the MB48 project has obviously been a huge, huge help in getting a lot of that stuff solved, but like this is one weird case where, like, as much as I love Hamster and as much as I have never in my life encountered a real top speed machine, this sounds wrong to me.
Just a little, just a tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, but also I don't have anything to compare it to, so I don't know.
I can agree. The most I'd have to compare it to is I've only played like the PS2 ports that came out in Japan, the Taito Memories.
Oh, yeah, Taito Memories.
Because they at least came out on the Japan versions. Speaking of Zuntata...
Yeah, those were weird.
One high point in Top Speed, and like one that I always fell in love with, was its soundtrack. I love Top Speed's soundtrack. That is like the most random hype for a sprite scaling racing game. Like, you expect like Outrun cruising jams, but you get like the Zuntata like punk rock, like we're rocking out.
Yeah, it's much closer to Night Striker than
exactly
for a like bright blue sky driving game. Right. So aggressive, just needlessly, but like really exciting and jamming. And they got that big nitro button. God, this game's so fast.
Yep.
Yeah, the nitro is insane. That's one of the things I want to say about Neo Drifter, actually, going back to that, was the music, not just the music, because the music's cool, isn't it? Especially the result stream music is one of my favourite pieces of music in any game. It's fucking awesome.
For
but the
Neo?
exhaust, Neo Drifter, yeah.
Okay,
but the exhaust popping when you're driving. Like,
I love that so much about Neo Drifter. You just go pop, 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 off the line, like... or when you tap into a car, oh my god!
Yeah.
Drift Out's good stuff.
Yep.
Top Speed's amazing.
Yep.
Akin to Top Speed, the other thing next to it on my what do you call it, PlayStation dashboard is Konami GT.
Yeah, we could talk about Konami GT.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
1985.
Another recent release, right? As well,
yeah, it's an ACA2 release. It's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an 85 game. It's a first-person, like largely nighttime racing game, I guess. I mean, there is a lot. Well, it's whatever. It's day and night cycles and stuff.
From what I played, I want to akin it to something like a 3D road fighter in a way. Like, you do have the low-high gear, you're picking up gas, like you're avoiding things. You literally just pick up a ball with wings that says gas. Like,
yeah, 100%. It's very much like using a lot of the same iconography, almost literally, from Road Fighter. It's got the same start to goal like line, with, like a progress line with your car in the middle, and you're still going like from city to city, basically. So in a lot of ways, it is very similar. But having only come out a couple of years later and being now a like first-person faux 3D thing, I think is really rad. It's a really huge jump, and it's also another game that feels weirdly modern in its control, at least in this release of it. Sorry, I was just flipping through screenshots, and shout out to the random UFOs in the background of the night stages. But yeah, no, like they give you, how do I put this? There are other cars on the road, and you would like to ideally not hit them, but basically as soon as they are off your peripheral vision, they no longer exist. So there's no, like, they are literally 2D objects in the 3D space, basically, is how you can think of it. Like, once you are a pixel in front of them, you are basically infinitely in front of them, and you can just scoot your car right in front of them, and you're not going to hit them or whatever. Like, if you do not see them in front of your view, they're not on camera, and you're not going to hit them if you move from side to side. Which sounds stupid. I don't know how to describe this feeling. What I'm trying to say is that it is a one of these, but I feel like you have a lot more room to move around without being penalized for it than almost every other first-person racing game from the like mid-'80s to early '90s.
And this game, like to your point about Road Fighter, Jason, this game was originally called Road Fighter 2.
Yeah, I think that's what the RF2 is.
Decided not to call it that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so interesting.
Oh, yes, it's right there on the front. Sorry, Konami RF2, Road Fighter 2. Duh.
Yeah, for me, it's just giving me massive Radmobile vibes.
It's pretty Radmobile.
And yeah.
I was gonna say Rad Racer 2, but same idea, effectively. But this game's fun, man.
100%. I used to play it on the this is a deep cut, the Microsoft Game Room on the 360.
Oh wow!
I was where I used to play this, and it was dope as hell on there. Or one of the, they had a bunch of old Konami stuff on there.
Remember Game Room as being a thing that Gersman used to trick other people into quick looks in the Giant Bomb days.
Makes sense.
Sit down for something completely different, some new release, and it's like, surprise, we're playing 3 Atari 2600 games. Ryan just
surprise, we're playing Adventure.
And storms out. Yeah, exactly. It's great. It's great. But yeah, man, I love stuff like that. I love any kind of like platform is the wrong word for it, but some kind of package by which old games can be kind of released in a sort of celebratory manner like that. Even if Game Room was, let's be honest, I believe the kids call it chuggy, but no, it was very strange and silly, and a lot of the emulation was really wonky. But
agreed.
I love the kind of prestige, the small scale prestige of the Arcade Archives releases, but
Yep.
I don't know. There's got to be something between this and like original Namco Museum,
like a collection. Yeah.
In terms of like, well, the original Namco Museum, like the first 5 on PS1, where you're going into a physical space where there's just like all of this brand new art and like all of this stuff around you to celebrate those games and the context around them. Whereas Arcade Archives has very, very little pomp and circumstance, but there is still a sense of like everything that we put out is worth taking seriously and like spending some time with, and is like good enough to spend the time to get good at, even if it's a very simplistic early arcade game. Which is weird because they just put out Mag Max on console archives. And Mag Max sucks. But
Mag Max.
Worst Famicom
Carry
on. But no, I really I love the kind of elevation and sense of import and respect for the craft and the work done by those who came before, and kind of the ability to give those things their own spotlight where they can be kind of experienced in isolation, as opposed to something that you're ROM surfing through or whatever, which is a thing that certainly can happen. This is sounding like a wrap-up. I didn't mean to get there, but I guess we kind of have already talked about most of what's been in there.
So like the emulation, and from my experience, is really good.
Oh, yeah. I think.
I mean, I don't know how many they sell of each one. I mean, they release one every week, and have done for what, 10 years?
Something like that.
7 years.
So I think in a lot of cases they are compiling back to C and then porting natively. I might be wrong about that, but I want to say that where they
it's impressive.
They are recompiling to C.
I mean, I wouldn't entirely put it past them to have some type of format that they're doing it, because Hamster's been in the port game for a minute. Like, I remember looking into Hamster. Like, one of their first projects is Raiden Project on PS1.
the Porter Riding 1
Yep.
too. So it's like there's
Okay. So
there's
they're around a long
definitely
time.
like the pedigree of converting from arcade to console in some way or shape or form.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got it nailed right now. If they're doing it every week,
Yeah, exactly. And if they're putting out stuff like 16-bit and sprite scalers and System 22, like they're definitely stepping their game
it's
up.
cool.
Yeah.
And cool borders,
Cool-
good frame
Cool
rate.
borders. I was shocked by that
Borders
one.
with VRR. What a thing.
I don't think I've ever played Cool Borders 1.
Yeah, it's very optimistic. There's like a minimum window for VRR, right? And I don't think Cool Borders could ever hit it.
Very, very funny.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the closest thing I have to compare it to, because I'm actually watching footage of Namco Museum on the PS1 right now, because I have never touched any of these collections.
Oh man, you're missing
and
out.
it's very.
Hey, Adam, I got a
know.
video for you.
It's very wholesome. I love the intro where Pac-Man falls on his ass and then.
Oh, the cutscene when he gets his
Finds
arm
his
stuck in the
Pac-Man.
pole position tire. Like,
Well, I wasn't in the intro. Like he's being chased by everyone, and then he falls on his ass, and then Ms. Pac-Man. He looks up, Ms. Pac-Man's there, and rather than it being like a stupid cartoon Auga thing, it's like, oh, you're here, great, let's walk in together holding hands. And it's
Miss
very
Pac-Man
cute.
is here to embrace you in her bubble of protection and save Pac-Man from the problems, clown.
I guess, sure, whatever.
you'd love those cutscenes, Adam. Like
But-
complete
Is that GIF old
sidebar.
enough now that no one... Have
I
people forgotten
have no
problems, clown? Damn it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm looking at At any rate, I'm watching this, and it's reminding me of the Sonic 3D world,
Sonic
and Sonic Jam.
Yeah, totally.
It's reminding me of that, and then also, I mean, the closest thing that I've experienced to Arcade Archives is just like M2 Sega Ages stuff, and I would say that's like
Right.
slightly a level above, because usually in every case they're adding something to these games, which I understand. That, like obviously that's not what Hamster's in this to do, and that's fine.
M2 is
But-
not putting out Sega Ages every week.
I mean, at all, even.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah,
We didn't even
on
get
any
Super
level.
Hang On.
But yeah, all this is to say that like if whatever formula that Hamster has gotten to where they can reliably put these out and sustain it is I'm perfectly happy with.
Yeah.
Compared to the
It's also-
alternative.
It's very fun because, like, they probably don't need to sell a lot of these every week because they're just constantly putting them out, and there's probably a decent amount of passive income that comes from people just, like, picking these things up sporadically at random. But it's fun because you can do something like, say, download Air Combat 22 on PS5 when that comes out and jump into the, like, weird caravan mode that they tagged onto it, and within your first, like, 2 runs, find yourself in the top, like, 5 in the United States because there are so few people on the leaderboard.
Yup.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should pick up Air
Yeah.
Combat 22 because that's the other
fantastic,
thing is
man.
like
I mean,
it's causing
obviously
me
I'm
to
a giant Ace Combat pervert, so I'm biased. But
yeah, as someone who's never played any of those games, that whole series, like this is a way for me to explore these things. And then
starting
like when
point.
something like Rave Racer comes out, which we can talk about Rave Racer, but that happened too. I'll buy it. I'll buy it twice. Like I literally have it on my Switch and
Yeah.
my PS5. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an interesting one. I mean, that was one that we all after Ridge Racer.
Yeah,
was like,
they've
I
got
mean,
it
that
right.
was-
we've got to do Rave
for
Racer,
me,
and
for me,
it's-
that
yeah.
was the number one. And they've done it now, which is amazing. But I also I would really like to see Winning Run, just because Winning Run is a really important game. I mean, that predated Virtua Racing. It would be really cool to see like Hamster honor that. But I also know like, I mean, all these different architectures, and Namco had it. And Namco, you know, just like Sega, they had a bunch of different architectures back then. I don't know how much, especially a game like Winning Run, like how much of it was like just for that game. Like that was the only thing. That they launched on that hardware.
I feel like
I have no idea.
That
but-
was, but then again, that was why we got 3 different versions of Winning Run. Like, we got Winning Run, and then 91 with the different course, and then Suzuka, which was 3D modeled Suzuka. Namco went a while with Winning Run.
Okay.
You say it, but how many Model 1 games were there? There was Virtua Racing, Virtua Fighter, and House.
No, House of the
House
Dead
of the Dead
Virtua
wasn't,
Virtua Cop
no.
too, right?
was Virtua Cop?
There's
There's
that
two Model 1 games.
Virtua
I don't
Cops 2.
think
Virtua
so.
Cop, Virtua Cop 1.
There's that airplane
It might
game.
have
What
just
is it?
been
Wing
those-
War. And then that's it. It's Virtua Racing, Wing War, and Virtua Fighter. Oh wait, I think Star Wars too.
Right.
The Star Wars that's on 32X, the Star Wars arcade.
Yes, it is Star Wars Arcade, Virtua Fighter, Virtua Racing, Wing War, Sega Netmerc.
Never heard of that in my
I
life.
don't know what the hell that
So
is.
5 games.
Oh my!
So 5 games,
what
whatever
the-
it is.
Like, everybody, if you can go look up Sega Net. I mean, I sent
Oh
the
my-
link to our.
Yo, it's LA Machine Guns, but VR? What is this?
What the fuck is this? What is this game
That is-
you put on a headset?
That's straight up an LA Machine Guns, like, turret. Or, what is it, Gunblade, New York?
It is?
What the fuck?
Yeah, but
This
you play
is-
it with like a VR headset.
That's
No,
insane.
this is the lawn mowing simulator from The Simpsons.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh,
What do you
So that's
do?
got to come
Yeah.
out.
When are we? Okay, the actual thing, like once we got any kind of System 22 stuff happening, my first like gut reaction after Ridge Racer was like, I want Alpine Racer. Bad.
Ooh.
Give me Alpine Racer.
Yep.
Or
Actually,
just give me the soundtrack
Racer's
to
cool.
Alpine Racer.
yeah,
And Motocross Go. Was Motocross Go Namco or was it Sega?
Motocross
No,
Go
it
was Namco. I just don't know if it was System 22.
It was Namco.
absolutely Alpine Racer. And actually, here's my next like big one that I want:
Ooh.
Dirt Dash, because Dirt Dash is
Dirt
I
Dash.
sensed
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
And
Dirt Dash.
Holy
Dirt
crap.
Dash. I have-
yes.
Really good.
And I have played Dirt Dash now. I'm lucky enough to say, and it is really great.
yeah.
I mean, in all of the
It's a cool
games
game.
that I played when I was in that awesome arcade in Tokyo, the racing games, that was one that like stood out to me as like, this is just as much fun as any of like, Sega Rally over there, whatever. It's
Yeah.
a great game.
It's MRC, but good.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It does this really interesting thing where the track is very long, but you can start it from any point. So if you want, you could start the rally in the hard section. If you want, you can start in the easy section. I can't remember exactly what that does for you, but it's just like a unique way to kind of experience that. And yeah, it's a cool game.
It's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And I played Cyber Cycles.
That's the one that I want, because I used to play it a lot in the shore down here. They
Okay.
had cyber cycles all the time down at the Jersey Shore. It was a pretty cool little game.
Nice.
Cool one.
But yeah, man, there's a lot. Like it's exciting to see so many people talking about Arcade Archives releases lately. Like as dumb as that is, I've been like weirdly hyped to see a lot of people be like, "Yo, they're putting out an Arkanoid this week."
Yo, I'm hyped
It's
for
like-
Arkanoid,
That's
bro.
right.
Like, that is the
It's
brick breaker
great.
game.
Yep.
I'm so happy
Absolutely.
to
It's great.
see like a lot of people paying attention to what they're putting out on a weekly basis in a weird way. Maybe that's just like my circles on Blue Sky or whatever. Like that's just a thing I'm seeing more often than I used to, I feel like. And maybe that's because they're doing more Rave Racers and fewer, stakes winners or whatever. But I think they are
Come on
getting a lot of eyeballs on them, and they got a lot of heat at the moment, and it's exciting. I love that I was like equally freaking out over an ACA2 release of Rave Racer as I was over an ACA2 release of GB. Like, if you
love
have the
that,
right sicko genes, you are being very well fed these days by our friends over at Hamster, and they appear to be really just knocking a lot of the like exciting. Okay, how do I put this? I started mixing metaphors, knocking something out of a park, etc. But like, whatever, they're taking a lot of the most exciting. How do I put this?
The ones
a
we
lot of
never
racing
got.
games that
Yeah.
capture the most exciting aspects of what makes racing games so fun
Okay, yeah.
to
Ones that
like as a
capture the
universal
fun.
experience, and also a lot of the stuff, that we haven't been able to have at home ever at all. Like there hasn't been real home ports of the arcade versions of Ridge and Rave Racer. Like, okay, sure, there was the stupid stand-up arcade one-up cabinet. That doesn't count. That's not a thing.
It half counts. I own one.
Jason's got it.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bust that.
It's okay. I get it. I
not on
understand.
release.
Because it's
That's
an arcade one-up, I understand the heat I get from
It's a
owning
weird
an arcade
bootleg toy.
one-up.
It's-
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's not even trying to be like dismissive
That's a
about it.
get-
It's just like for whatever reason in my brain, that's a separate object from a retail video game release. Like that's
It makes
an
sense.
amusement device. I don't know what that
It makes
means.
sense. No, it's true. Like,
Yeah.
no, I kind of agree
yeah,
with that because they
I-
are doing like the bangers and like the good games and like the hidden gems too. Like I'm thankful we got Assault, like of all games. Like was the quickest $7
Yeah.
I bought. I bought Assault and Crazy Climber and like stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. And as good as the PlayStation version of Ridge Racer is, we know what the
Yeah,
Like, it
some
was a
would
great
call it
port.
unplayable
It was
compared to the arcade version.
Adam,
Maybe if you're a big dumb baby that can't play video games, I say as if you have not absolutely wiped the floor with my ass every time we've played anything together. You're like lapping me at
but,
Ridge 7. I'm over here talking shit about your Ridge 1 dismissal. Anyway.
that's forever.
Yeah, Paul, you're right. That PS1 port is fantastic. That game is really good. But it is something special and magical to have the actual 1993 arcade game at home finally after all these years.
Yeah.
and it still plays great. Still looks amazing. Sounds amazing.
So
it's brilliant.
fast,
It's a
feels great. It's
fucking
fun as
fantastic
shit.
video game. Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Rave. I've never seen I've never seen a Ridge Racer cabinet, but I've never had an opportunity to spend really any meaningful time with Rave Racer because, like I've talked about this before, but like racing games and MAME don't get along really well unless you have a wheel. Usually, like people don't.
Controls. Oof.
Yeah.
For the
That's
longest
why
time,
so much of the gameplay footage on YouTube for those always looks terrible because they're bouncing between. They're usually digital steering controls, so it's like none or all of it.
Yeah,
are
so you have to
basically
really
options.
sit there and like fine tune it to get it going on me.
and Rave has that like that camera that like swivels kind
Yes.
of opposite the car, so like that,
Yeah, that makes it
really
impossible to look
exacerbates
at.
the problem when you're just doing like tap tap tap.
Yeah. So a lot of that
yeah.
third-person footage looks totally seasick in a way that actually playing the game doesn't necessarily. But yeah, it's I just kind of gave up on the idea of playing anything with a peripheral over MAME a long time ago, and being able to have professionally ported games with people that really know what they're doing sat down and mapping all of those steering controls to sticks and stuff for us is a wonderful, beautiful thing that I am very grateful for.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Damn, that was good.
When I look at the Sega version of this too, where they're just putting these things into like a Dragon games that get worse and worse and worse and worse, it's just like really frustrating because it's funny because like I read recently they've like people from the Ryuga Gotogo studio have talked about like their mentality behind like why they put these games in or why they put the old Sega arcade games in there, and how it
Because they
brings
used
more
to be
people these
amusement vision,
games.
dude.
Yeah.
But like but it's just I mean it honestly it was never a big deal for me when those games like when the Yakuza games themselves were good, when they were really good. But like now, like I got that fucking Pirate in Hawaii one just because it has both versions of Daytona 2 and it has Spike Out, and those are all great games. And God, but that Pirate game is so terrible.
Yeah,
I really hate it. I really
it's
can't
really
stand
phoned
it.
in.
I got to the point where I unlocked those arcade games and I'm like, I am never playing. And I'm someone who like loved Judgment, loved Yakuza 0. Like, yeah, it's a shame what's become. But I don't know what the rationale is for
I feel
not
like
releasing them
Keep
standalone.
going.
I just don't get it. That's it.
Oh no, I was gonna say I feel like with the effort that they're doing to port these into Yakuza and like keep them in, they can just make a collection. But I feel like Sega just doesn't want anybody to make a collection or like package their old games
I have no
anymore.
idea.
Are they good ports?
I don't think Sega knows what anyone wants.
Is the emulation good on them?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like we were talking earlier,
no, they're
Paul. Like I
fantastic.
would love like an easy way for all the sprite scalers to be accessible. Like I just want to play Enduro Racer and Super Hang-On on modern hardware without having to fumble through MAME or fumble on the Genesis. Like
It's like Capcom sprite scaler we always talk about.
Slipstream.
Oh, Slipstream.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. Just
amazing.
That's pretty
speed
cool.
around. Yeah, I believe M2 did a lot of the arcade ports that are in most of the Yakuza games. I think that differs, from game to game over the years. But like I've loved that series so much, man. I love the PSP games. I love the PS3 games. I love all the shit no one cares about. But like they just fell off a cliff recently,
Yeah.
and
It's bad.
such a bummer.
For me, it was
It's so weird because like I feel like
know.
Sega was like coming back to life off the back of that series, and
a little bit.
they kind of smothered it a little bit.
I feel like it's pretty clear, like, once they started coming out with, like, 2 games a year, that was kind of it, because it didn't used to be that way, you know? They were always a very efficient studio, and they always came out with stuff quickly, but,
really
like...
long and
way
bloated,
too
and
long.
they were not... Yeah, I don't know. Like,
It's not fun.
I could go on and on about all of the little details about like Yakuza 5 that make that game so deeply emotionally endearing to me. All the weird little like janky aspects of that game's like kind of daily Shenmue-y rituals that you kind of go through, and like the almost like Red Dead 2-esque like tedium and monotony of menial tasks in that game. There's so much about it that it's just so... But yeah, to tie it back to this stuff, you're absolutely right, Jason. That stuff Sega should be selling those separately. It's not like they were losing out on Yakuza sales by putting Daytona 2 inside there and not releasing it separately.
Oh, that was the reason I bought Zero. I bought Zero because it came with Super Hang-On and Outrun in it. Like,
sure, but like at this point, the amount of people that are going to buy a new Yakuza game is exponentially larger than the amount of people that would just buy.
Of course.
And the
So
worse
like,
this shit gets, like, I don't think anything short of Scud Races, which would never happen, is going to get me to buy one of those games anymore, just because they're not fun. Like, it used to be you got a very good video game and then, like, these amazing ports, and now you get a bad video game and these amazing ports, and I just can't justify it anymore for $70 or $50 or whatever they want to charge.
Every time they get
these.
re-released or remastered, that stuff has to change. Like the PS3 trilogy, when that got remastered, they had games ripped out of there and replaced with like weird, like bespoke new stuff. Like it feels like a weird demo that someone had that they just jammed in there. Like if you go to the arcades in, is it 3 or 4? I don't remember. But it just has this like weird shooter like STG, but it's like modern-y and bad, and just feels like a weird demo thing. I don't know, whatever. The point is, they're not doing this anymore, and it's very strange to me that there's not like, it's not like walking in and playing a Sega game. You're not walking in and playing Virtua Fighter 2. Yeah, exactly, 100%. Which it was a really, really cool part of those for a long time. You know, following the tradition of walking into the arcade in Shenmue and playing Hang On. You are now going like the way that they've kept that up and allowed it to be a fun little pocket inside a bigger video game where you're already in a world and on an adventure and in a story. That being a thing where there's a little like side distraction where you can go off to the side and play these incredible classic arcade games also to, break up the pacing or whatever. That's not really there anymore. It's just like, hey, as a little bonus thing, we're also shoving this other thing in there, and then everyone's like, well, I've wanted a port of that forever, and now this is the only way I can get it. But like, again, I think the amount of people that are buying modern Yakuza games for the old games that are hidden inside them exclusively is probably not very much. And I don't think they would be cannibalizing those sales by releasing those things separately, even if it's got to be a timed release. Like, wait 6 months after the Yakuza game comes out before you put it up on the eShop or whatever. I don't care. Like, just put them out there at all.
You just throw it digital for a couple bucks. Like, you don't even got to make a collection or nothing. You could take the same port that's in Yakuza and like add a menu and a UI and just sell it for a couple bucks. Like,
that's what I mean. Is like, I wish we had Arcade Archives style stuff for Sega, for Capcom, for other companies that are not going to work with Hamster to do those.
For companies that have like such a massive backlog, like.
Yeah. Which, like, I'm actually, this whole time I've been looking at footage of Slipstream again, and it's a gorgeous game. I didn't realize it's actually not a licensed F1 game. It has licensed brands in it, but the cars and the teams are not licensed. So, I mean, that could, and also this game only came out in Latin America. Like, I mean, I vaguely remember that, but that's crazy. That's absolutely insane that this game didn't make it out in more places than Latin America. Yeah, it's great.
So Sega haven't even released any of their only Shinobis only Shinobi. Shinobi's the only game that they've.
Well, no, even then
that's
they
come out
just
from their new
like,
games,
they
right?
just delisted Sega Age of Shinobi and like most of the ways to get the Shinobi games.
No. So I meant like
the
the new
one.
Shinobi. Out of all the games they announced, like Crazy Taxi,
Yeah,
came
that's the other
Outrun,
thing, like,
Jet Set Radio.
They're still
That's years
that
ago.
could be
that
another
was.
thing.
they're contracting all those out to other places, and it's very strange. I can't
And
talk
it's gone
about what
quiet,
little
very
I've seen.
quiet. They're
but
not even
it's
shown
kind of-
those games.
I'm not sure what's going on over there.
I feel like they
yet.
took
I don't know
that
what they're doing.
plan and like kind of like remade it into this Sega Universe thing they're trying to pull off, but who knows?
Every couple of years they have we're doing Sega Forever, Sega Universe, Sega's back.
Yeah.
It's just
usually all the
marketing.
same.
But
I feel like
what
they're trying to do that before they are high enough on the like peak that they're riding, and end up like killing their own momentum.
Well, when they announced that Crazy Taxi game, like a year later, they put out a video that was like, "Hey, we're recruiting developers. Does anyone want to help us make the game?" That's like, what?
Yeah.
Like you announced this before you had anything? I don't understand what the deal is with those situations where they license out like to was it Forever Entertainment does the Panzer Dragoon games, and then or even some of the more
two are just abominable.
even some of the more successful ones like the Streets of Rage one
Yeah,
and like that
one.
stuff. Like I don't know what the deal is, because they're usually, in most cases, they like Sega. The only place where you see Sega's name in those games in the very beginning in the legal screen, where legal text will just say like original games Sega. Otherwise, they remove their name, their logo, everything from those products, and I don't understand why. Unless they
Streets of Rage 4 looks like an indie game, otherwise, if you don't know what that is already.
Unless they get more money for disassociating with it, so it can be someone else's thing. I don't get it. But
I don't know, man.
They even took the Sega logos off of the Outrun cabinet, as much as we were talking about one-ups earlier. That has like no indication of Sega involvement besides like Outrun. Like,
well, it's gonna be a movie too, so just you.
Yeah,
sure it will.
the
That'll
movie's
be a
just
real
gonna
thing that
be
happens.
Cannonball Run with Ferraris and half good.
Just make it just go watch Two Lane Blacktop and shut up. There you go. That's your advice, kids. Go home, watch the Criterion Collection release of Two Lane Blacktop, and shut up. I
Go
guess.
play Outrun. Go listen to Magical Sound Shower.
Go
No,
play
not
Outrun
Magical
2.
Sound Shower.
Go-
Listen to Passing Breeze. Magical Sound Shower is overplayed.
There you go.
I said it.
It is, but that's just because I've heard it too much.
Same.
Go home and play Aquajet.
Exactly. I'm gonna go play Final Lap.
Go home and play Aquajet and listen to Broader Damnation. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Somebody else take this microphone. Microwave?
I was gonna-
Holy I'm done.
Talking stick. I'm taking the talking stick. We'll take the talking stick.
Thank you for listening.
this is fun.
Go play Arcade Archives. Bye,
Go
everybody.
play Smart
Go
Guys.
play Spike Out on the original Xbox.
Play Final Lap.
Play Final Lap.